Morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone. Miss Natasha here of the Create Don't Hate Show. I hope you're doing well. I would like to just say that mental wellness is wonderful, and if you don't have it or you have it, it's not easily attained, but we can take small steps and make big moves. And this platform is it's just a joy for me to conduct every single interview that I have is just bringing me so much enlightenment and joy. And I hope that you all can feel that vibe too. And I hope you all can also experience that personally. And please, if you would like to, please share and describe to us in the comments why you decide to create instead of hate. I have a lovely queen here tonight. I'd love to share the three words that I thought of when I wanted to ask her to come on the show. One is community oriented
So
and
what?
community oriented.
Okay.
I guess that's two words, but that's a phrase.
It's a whole phrase.
Oh, and the next word is loving. And the third word is, wait, which word did I say? Okay, I'll say two. Courageous and inspiring. So that's a couple more words that
Yeah,
I
a couple
got,
more
but
words.
if you could please
That's okay.
introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I am Princess. I am the owner of Her Legacy, which is a nonprofit organization for women and children. I am also the owner and founder of We Craft Creatives, where we create customization of all types of stuff. So not only bookmarks, but shirts, cups, all your branded merch items. And then I also am a business coach. So Coach Princess, I help you get your business registered, get you started, find funding, and get you on the right track to building a sustainable business.
And thank you for your service. I always
Um,
tell the persons that are on the show that if you could you imagine if you didn't answer the calls
I'm telling you.
and you just like ignored it.
And you know what? A lot of people ignore their calling
Yeah, I did for her.
because they're not ready to
Mhm.
step into that. And the truth is, you don't have to be ready. When God calls you for something, He's going to prepare you along the way. And it doesn't have to be perfect at the start because you're perfecting as you go.
Thank you. You started off right.
Oh,
All
but it's the
right.
truth. Listen, we gotta let them know. We gotta let them know.
Yes. Okay. Did the industry you're in choose you, or did you choose the industry?
To be honest, the industry chose me. I was always out supporting other people, and and that was my thing. It was like I enjoyed being outside. I enjoyed brunching. I enjoyed going to dinners. I enjoyed networking. I enjoyed games nights. It literally chose me, and then I started going places, and I was going by myself. I didn't need a companion. I would go and I was on that. I will make a friend there. If if there's an event happening, I will make a friend there. And what ended up happening is people were like, "You're going by yourself," and I would post about it. I'm going by myself. I don't mind, and I would leave with friends, and then all these connections, and then people kept saying, "Oh, tell me when you're going somewhere else. Why are you going here without me? Post about it." And then that's how the community became because people wanted to know about it. And then
That
people were posting about their business, and I was literally the person that during COVID, I would go to scroll through Instagram and I'd be like, oh, this person's selling lashes. Let me add to cart, buy it. And just like I spent between in COVID, I spent nearly 30K just supporting small businesses in that whole year. My accountant was flipping out, like, you're spending too much money. But I did it because I was supporting my community. I was supporting the people in my community. And all of the stuff that I purchased, some of it I even gave away. I raffled it off, but it was just about supporting the people within my community. It was, you were there, I wanted to support you. If you started your business, I wanted to support you, because a lot of people talk about like, hey, I support you, but how do you support? Do you like their posts? Do you comment? Do you purchase from them? There's thousands of ways to support, but I feel like if you say that you respect somebody or you want to really support them, you're gonna make a way, because we support all these big brands. Like we go to McDonald's every time. You know what I mean? But we also go there because it's convenient, right? But then there's also somebody that might be chefing it up from their kitchen. Why are we not supporting them? And that's support. Support sometimes means that, you have to wait for your package to come in the mail. We don't complain when Shein is sending us our packages, but we're complaining when small businesses are. And it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Thank you for that comment.
It doesn't add up. And I feel like the bigger brands, like Nike does not care about me. McDonald's does not care about me. These small businesses, if I message them and say, hey, you know what? You forgot something in my order, they're ready and willing to work it out. McDonald's is like, you know how many times McDonald's has messed up my order, but I've gone back there every single time after. And I'm not going to lie. I will listen. I've asked for a burger with this, and this on it, and I've gotten it, and we still go back. So why do we give our local businesses such a hard time, but we will never give big businesses that? And we should give them a hard time because they've been in business longer. So they should know better. But everybody's human. So that's my gist on the whole of it.
Wow, that was only the first question. It was only the first question, folks. And that was just like, wow. If someone doesn't say it, it won't get noticed and we'll continue on. We hope
Yeah.
when someone says it, we change that narrative.
Yeah, you change the narrative. And I feel like even with businesses that I've supported, I've messaged a lot of them and I've said, hey, I received your package today. I like this, but maybe you should add this, so that like a business card, like giving constructive criticism. And I've even reached out to them and said, hey, this wasn't up to my expectations. Maybe you should change your description of how, because what you wrote might, working with them, because at the end of the day, they need to learn and grow, right? When you
Mhm.
think about it, Nike started in somebody's garage. Look at them now. Nike got so much feedback until they grew, right? And that's how we have to operate with local businesses. We have to be able to be telling them the truth, but as a business owner as well, we have to be
Thank
receptive
you.
to the feedback. We have
That's
to be receptive to it too. It's hard. We have to be able to take it in and make changes and not think that everybody's out to get us.
one of my favorite books is called Feedback Mentality.
Oh, I need to check that one out.
Excuse me. There it is.
Oh yeah, let me go on Amazon.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite books, and it's by a Black queen.
See?
So when you said that, I had to get it. Sorry, I just got distracted there, but it's like feedback. If you like, we could start wars with feedback,
Yeah.
and if you
And I
understand
feel
how to
like
take it.
I feel like feedback in every relationship and every journey, even as a friend, I feel like my friend should be able to come to me and say, hey, you know what? I didn't really like that meme you sent me thinking it's about me, or it's those are types of relationship feedbacks that we also have to have. Like we have to be receptive to certain things, like, and say, hey, as like I will pull up my friends and I love when my friends pull me up. If I post something, they're like, yo, that's you shouldn't have posted that. Or we have to be receptive to certain things as well. And can't think that everybody's out to get us. Sometimes they're doing it out of love, right? So
Mhm.
we have to be able to accept that.
Thank you for that. Um, did you go to college or university for what you're doing now?
Um, I would say yes and no. So I did go to college for early childhood, so that's where the children part comes into. And then I also went to college for like the office administration part and like all of that. And then I did some business courses, and then I did a course to become a business coach, right? So just learning the so I did some education, but I it also comes from just being in the community and seeing where I can support. And I'm the type of person is I've never stopped learning. Like I'm always learning so that I can help somebody in my community. I'm always learning something so that I can be able to share the knowledge with somebody else. And I feel like just in general, no matter what you're doing, you never stop learning. Like if you're a doctor, you always have to learn and know what is the next best thing. If you're a dentist, you have to do that. If you're a teacher, you have to do like every no matter what industry you're in, you always have to be up to the trendy things in your industry. Like if you're a makeup artist, you have to know all the different shades. You have to know it. So we have to be really open to that and making sure that no matter what industry you're in, you never stop learning. Because
Mhm.
somebody that went to school 20 years ago, there's new technology that has landed that you might need to know. And
Mhm.
when you think about it, it's like when my parents were going to school, there wasn't computers. They didn't have computers, they didn't have laptops, they didn't have no social media. But we got to get them up to they didn't have cell phones. You know what I mean? Like I remember showing my parents how to use the mobile phone, like how to connect to the Wi-Fi and all of that. But they didn't have that back then, right? But it's also about keeping them up to date. And that's what we have to do because the things that we're learning now, think about the generations, but they're gonna have so much more. They might even have robots. They might not even know certain things because it's gonna be like you know that we used to work at McDonald's. Now they have robots flipping burgers. They might not know that. So it's kind of like no matter where you are, you have to stay up to the time and be trendy and know everything. So never stop learning. I tell people that you're never too old to learn and you can never stop learning.
That's
You can learn something and you have to be receptive to learning as well, right? You can't be stuck in your old ways because that's you won't grow.
that's a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah.
What are the skills that you would use the least?
Honestly, the skills I use the least there's not really a skill. Every skill I use a lot. Communication, customer service. We're using skills every single day because that's how business is, right? I gotta use my computer skills because most people right now send me an email. Send me like it's so text me. So you got to be up, you got to be able to send me a WhatsApp, come on Zoom, you got to be able to connect. You every skill that I've learned has benefited me some way or some. I might not use them every single day, but I use them throughout the week in different depends on where I am, right? Because I've had virtual meetings, I've had in-person meetings where I have a pen and pad writing down notes, right? But then there's apps that you can record the conversations and it does all your notes. There's so many there's skills. We're always using our skills every single day. And especially when you communicate, because sometimes, and this goes for anything, is like sometimes I might send a text to somebody and they might receive it a different way than me speaking
Oh,
to them.
yeah. Yeah.
And it happens even with friendships. Like I text my friend something and she took offense to it, but I didn't mean it in that like I think like it's just how like you might have wrote it thinking that it's okay, but how the person on the other end receives it might not. Even when you're communicating on the phone, you might say something in a different tone or a different manner. So every skill is something that we use every day.
Yep. Thank you for that. Do you have meaningful relationships and how do you nourish them?
I have a lot of meaningful relationships. Most important ones are the ones with my kids, and I how I nurse them. I spend time with them. You got to spend time with them, get to know them, see what they're into. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, and like last week my kids like pasta, and this week they don't want pasta. So it's like all about relearning them, and maybe next week they might like it again. It's you know what I mean, and like even with friendships, just sometimes taking a break and taking your friend out. It doesn't always have to be, you guys go out to eat. It could be just a Tim Hortons. It could be a Starbucks. It could be something quick. I've had virtual coffee with some friends that we've both gone to Starbucks and got a drink, and then we're on a call together and we're just talking because we can't be in each other's presence, right? So those are type of like, little things to nourish the relationships, just a quick check-in. You know, I send messages to my friends saying, hey, you know, haven't seen you post today. What's going on? If I notice somebody on social, and I do that a lot when I'm scrolling through social media, like if I don't see a business person, I send them a message like, hey, I haven't seen you post. Is your business still active? Just, you know, letting them know that I noticed you're not here. I've noticed, you know what I mean? Like I noticed your presence. Just those are how you build relationship and you keep relationships. It's not always about talking to the person every day or seeing them every day. Like I don't talk to my best friend every day, but one thing will never change is if my best friend calls me and needs me, I'm there, right? I've probably talked to other people that are business oriented more than I talk to my family, but when it's time for Christmas dinner, it's like we might have not seen each other for the whole year, but the relationship and the love is still there. So it really depends on the relationship you have with the people around you and how you communicate. Like I'm the type of friend, and I tell people this all the time, is like you might call me 10 times and I generally will be busy, but if you send me a message and it's like, hey, 911 SOS, I'm gonna be like, okay, gotta get to you. I'm gonna get to you. But you don't have to talk to me every day to think that, you know, if our friendship is still good. You don't have to talk to me every day. You ain't gotta check in. If I see you post, I will like, I will comment, and that doesn't mean, oh, you have to call me right now because you seen me post. I don't need a call just because you see me post. I just need you to know to, you know, give me a like, give me a hi, hey, good, you're still alive. Like that. Sometimes posting is just that is, hey, I'm still alive. You see me post, that means I'm alive. You don't gotta call me, you know, because life gets busy. Everybody gets things happen. We all are in different spaces, different, but it doesn't mean I don't care. I don't love you less. But it's like there's certain relationships that you have to pour in and nurture a little bit more, especially being a mom. Like I have to pour into the kids, right? Because if I don't spend too much time with them and I'm too busy with my friends, they're not gonna feel like, oh, mom doesn't have time for us, right? So there's certain relationships you kind of have to prioritize them and make sure that you know where they are, right? And it just depends.
That's a fact. And I know you've answered this next question, I believe, like overall, but I'm going to ask it. How are you of service to others?
Honestly, I'm a service a lot and I give my advice. If you ask me a question, if you slide in my DMs, you ask me a question, you text me, hey, do you know where I can find this? I'm going to give you the answer. I don't gatekeep, I don't hold anything back. I will even give you, like, hey, you know what? You can get this at Amazon, but you can also, you might be able to find it at Walmart or you can find it here. I'll give you options. So I'm always trying to help, but I also have to set boundaries to my help because of the service that I provide. Like you could ask me a few business questions, but a lot of times I will tell people, you know what? If it's going to be more than certain time, you're going to have to book a call and pay me for my time just because I can't step away from being a mom. I have to still be a mom. I still have my 9 to 5. I still have to pour into my businesses, but I can pour into you for a consultation, which is free. But anything outside of that is going to be like, you know, I can only do so much because if you keep pouring into people, then who pours into you, right? So you have to be able to set boundaries because I will tell you, I've had people call me at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and they're like, oh, you're not answering. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm sleeping. Oh, but I had a question about something. Okay, but I'm sleeping. Like, so you don't believe that I should sleep because you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like you have to set boundaries and let people know, like, hey, these are my hours. Like, don't talk to me. And I tell people that by 8:30, my phone goes on do not disturb because between 8:30 and 9, it's time for me to focus, making sure my kids are getting ready for bed, homework is done. You know, they get their bedtime snack and they're tucked in by 9 o'clock. I need my kids to make sure they get a good night's rest because they have school and I need them to be alert and attentive. I need them to be, and then that gives me a little bit of downtime as mom to just relax. You know what I mean? Like I need to relax before I go to my bed. Sometimes I'm so tired that I fall asleep with them. Like I'm tired, but I want to have that me time where I can just read a book before bed. I could read my Bible. I could check up on emails, just giving myself that time. Because like as individuals, we need to prioritize our self-care and our mental health, right? Like if we're always going to be on the go, on the go, on the go, like we're going to be slacking. Like, and I feel like that's where burnout happens. And I feel like for myself, I've experienced burnout. And that's why I had to set certain boundaries because I got to the point where I was dehydrated, I was exhausted, I was doing so much for people that I wasn't even eating. Like people were calling me and I was just answering the phone to help them. But I realized some nights that I would go to bed at like 12, 1 o'clock and I didn't eat at all yet. I didn't even eat because I was so busy, like, oh, this person wanted to ask me a question, and then they had me on the phone for 3 hours, and then this person, and so it's about setting boundaries. And I had to learn that near the end of 2024 because I literally was like so dehydrated where like I couldn't even get up and take care of my children. Like I was so tired and my body was drained. And I had to be like, okay, you know what? I'm changing my phone number. I'm getting a business line. And now I have to set that boundaries because I can't, and I've seen people tell me that like they've ended up in the hospital because of burnout. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a real thing. It is
Mm-hmm.
a real thing. So we have to, make sure that we remember our mental health and our self-care is very important.
That's why I started Create
Yeah,
Don't
people,
Hate.
we need to know this. It's very important.
It starts with us first, and then we move forward to other people.
And when they say you can't pour from an empty cup, I really understood that. You listen,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I understood it. And I realized that like when you're at your lowest, where are all the people that like those people are busy because they done ran off of the information and they went about their day, but you're still there at the bottom because nobody's pouring into you now. So now you're empty, you're dry, and you poured into everybody else, but nobody has put you. So you have to take time to pour into yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. What do you do? And thank you for that. Um, Self-preservation isn't selfish,
It
especially
isn't.
drowning.
Yeah, it's a lot, and people don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they think that you're being selfish and they think that you're being mean or whatever, but a lot of people don't understand. And I realized that I seen a quote on Instagram which said like takers don't have a limit.
Mm,
So they all they know how to take, right? So they all they do is take, 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 and once you stop giving to them and you don't, they take offense to it, right? Because they're not used to hearing the word no. So if you don't set the boundary, and it means, I've lost people and friends because I've set boundaries.
mhm,
But that shows you certain things in life, right? Like if you can always give, 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 but the minute you say no once, you become the meanest person on the planet.
mhm.
That speaks volumes. Like, wow, I can't say no. Like I can't, you could do a favor 1,000 times, but the one time you say no, you're the bad
You're
person.
you're horrible, but
Yeah.
another thing there,
Listen.
right?
Yes.
How do you demonstrate that you're grateful?
I show people appreciation and I give them their flowers while they're here. Like I will post, like I'm grateful for my friend that helped me. Like I show my friends appreciation. Even just sometimes it's as little as sending like a gift card to them just to appreciate something that they did for you, giving them a gift, a small token of their appreciation. Those are things that people recognize and people appreciate. You don't know, like the smallest thing can mean the world to somebody.
Mhm.
And I realized that like the way the universe works is when you're not at your best, the universe always sends someone or something to show you that appreciation. And it happens a lot because like I've reached out to somebody and I reposted somebody one day and I reposted their post, not knowing anything going on in their life. And it made the world to them because they were going through so much and they didn't think that nobody was even seeing anything that they were posting. So sometimes it's those little things that you don't even know the difference that you're making in somebody else's life.
Mhm. And that's what I love. I love. And then people say, "Oh, you live in La La Land,"
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um, that's because God's been good to me.
Yeah. I'm
And
grateful.
I learned how to be good to Him.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're mad at that, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. You got to take it up with him. You got to take it up with God. Like that's
you
between
know,
you and him.
you
Don't take
know,
it up with me.
you know. Okay, what have you done for yourself in the last month?
Listen, I'm about to go place this weekend. I'm going to the spa. I feel like, yeah, it's
You're so
needed. Just yes, like it's just something that, self-care and self-love, like you just sometimes you just need that break. You need to get away. You need to do that. Do something for yourself. Take
yeah,
yourself out to eat, do something for yourself. Buy yourself something.
yeah.
Those are little things that you can do for yourself that you work hard, you do so much. It's appreciation. You always got to make sure you take care of you.
And I appreciate you. Okay, how do you maximize the return on your time?
Honestly, time is something that we can never get back. So it's like we gotta appreciate every moment, right? And you could be here today and gone tomorrow. We've seen that happen in so many things. So like when it comes to, I am very selfish with my time and how I spend it and who I spend it with, because there's certain people that I can't spend time with. Like, so when it comes to creating memories, or like if my kids come to me right now and they're like, "Hey mom, we seen this place that we want to go check out." I'm definitely taking there's a movie. I'm definitely trying to put in that time with them because certain they're not going to stay small forever, right? They're going to grow up, and I want to make sure that they enjoy the time. You know what I mean? At least they can look back and be like, you know what, my mom made it happen. My mom, she was there. We have memories with her. She never not had time for us. She always made time for us. And I
Mm,
feel like even as individuals, we have to make time for ourselves. So if there's
mm,
something that you want to do for yourself, do it. If you want to go on that trip, book it
mhm.
because time waits for no one.
You seem also that uh, being of service is something that you feel that is also important.
Yes.
So you have a huge thing is your faith,
Yeah.
and then being of
Yeah. You have to be, you have to be protecting yourself, but you also have to be service to others, right? Because you don't know what other people are going through. And I feel like sometimes we went through some people have gone through similar situations, and just hearing somebody share their story can kind of help guide you if you're going through something similar. So like I share those type of experiences that I've gone through, right? So I tell people like, hey, I lost my mom. When I lost my mom, my daughter was a baby. So I lost my mom when I became a mom, right? So I didn't have any of that. Like, I didn't get that full experience of having my mom watch me raise my kids. Like, she passed away when my daughter was 1. My daughter doesn't really remember her. She knows, but she doesn't really remember her because she was still a baby herself, right? So I feel like there's people that go through that kind of stuff. Like they feel like they don't have the support. But it's like you're not alone. Like some of us have gone through the same similar experiences. And I think if we don't share our stories, people will never know. A lot of people feel like only me has gone through that, but it's not only me. I found out that so many other people have lost, like, and I was like, oh, you lost your mom too. Like, and it's just so how crazy just sharing one thing can open up a can of worms for everybody else to share their experiences, and then you can kind of learn from each other and help each other through it, because it's a
Mhm.
process. It is a process. Losing a loved one is hard, but when you lose somebody of that's very close to you, it's harder, right? Because it's like we already know that we're born to live, and eventually we're supposed to die, right? If we already know that, right? We don't know. Growing up, my parents used to always tell me, you don't know the day you're going to enter the world, and you don't know the day you're leaving, right? So what you have to do is make the best of it, right? It just hurts sometimes when the person that you lose, you feel like they're too young.
Mhm.
They're too young. Like, why? They're not even old. Like, when somebody older dies, it hurts you. Like, when I lost my grandmother, it hurt, but
Mhm.
I already knew, like, she was old. Like, you get it. Like, you know what I mean? But when you lose somebody that's not old and not there, you're like, why? You question certain things because it's like, why? I had a friend lose a baby, and it was like, but why? Because the baby didn't do anything. Like, what did the baby do? But you can't really question God's reasoning behind things, right? Because everything happens for a reason, and only He knows why.
Mhm.
So, but I feel like in life, you have to just share your experiences. If you went through something, share it because somebody else might see your story and it might help them through it.
You are a mother and an auntie to many.
Yeah.
So it's like that feeling that you have and everything that she imprinted on you prior is
Yeah.
what's like fueling all of this crazy
Yeah. It,
stuff.
it,
So
it
like,
literally guides you. It
like
literally guides you.
yeah, and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
it guides you.
mhm, mhm. And I'm glad that you're able to see what God like laid out for you.
Yeah.
You know,
It
it
literally,
hurts, it's happy, it's sad, it's everything in between.
yep,
Mm.
it sure is.
Okay, okay, I have two more, and that's
Okay.
it, because this is just ooh. Mm. Okay, how do you navigate hope?
Honestly, it's just through prayer
Mhm.
because, you got to have hope. Like, it's like faith. It's like having faith, right? You're having faith for something that you don't know. Like, in the Bible it says faith is the things of unseen, right? So you don't see it. You have no idea, but you're believing in it, right? You have to have faith and you have to have hope that what you're praying for is gonna come.
Mhm.
You pray, like, we pray for better days. We have to hope that they're coming, right? So in that prayer, we're planting mustard seeds, right? We don't know, are they going to sprout? Are they not? But we're having hope and we're still watering it so that, you know what I mean? It comes to life.
Mhm. I'm reminded when I look at nature, when I see an airplane up in the air in the sky, things of we put our trust in a lot of things. Oh, spring's gonna come, you know,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
but yet we forget about the Almighty and how
yeah.
it's
And
just
how it works.
here, right there, and I I ignored it so long. So I was like, and when I realized it, I was like, I need to like, I need to change a lot of things.
Yeah,
Change a lot of things, like like I went into like, I need to change a lot of things. This is madness, and
yeah. That's
slowly
what happens.
demoted all of the negativity,
Yep.
promoted the positivity, and
And
people
you'll see the
started
changes.
dropping off, dropping off, dropping off. Oh, she rich on Switch. Oh, all these things. But you know
Yeah,
what? It's made it like it's made life a lot easier.
yeah.
Not like I don't know how to say that. Like
No, but
it
you know what I tell people all the time, which is crazy, is elevation requires separation, right? So when
mhm,
you're elevating, when you're going up, there's so many things that are going to fall off and so many people because what your plan is, sometimes you can't bring everybody with you. If
no,
they don't see your vision, it's like you're elevating and they don't see the vision, right? But when, the other day I thought about it, like my vision, God gave it to me. He didn't give it to me, you. So they're not going to understand the vision that He gave me. He planted that in me. And I can't force nobody to see it, right? So elevation is going to require separation because if they don't trust me, and they're like, we don't believe this, like this is gonna, it's not gonna work, right? And if I'm gonna be at a standstill if I start listening to all the negative, oh, don't do that, don't do that. I won't, you know what I mean? I have to stay focused. And if that means losing people, then it means losing people. But now that I notice I've lost people, but guess what? My business has
yay,
boomed. I've lost people, but my business has boomed because the vision that I was given, they weren't given, right? So they're not gonna understand where I'm going with it, and it's
no,
not meant for them. It's not meant for them. So I can't even, I could be, you could be hurt for a while because, like you don't ever want to lose friends or lose certain things. But then you also have to remember that when Noah made the ark, they were laughing at him. When God was telling him to put two this, two that, they were but then you see when the flood came, they all wanted to be like, you got to remember those are the things that you have to put back in your mind and remember. Like they didn't remember. He was building that ark and they were laughing at him. But what happened? Him and his family were safe, right? So you got to remember, elevation requires separation, and it's just It's just you're not better than them or not. It's just you're going through your path. You have to lead your path. It doesn't make you, anything. You're not getting, I know people say you get rich and switch, but no, you're just following your path.
Yeah.
You just got to follow your path.
Thank you for that. Before I get to the last question, um, I gave you a lot of magazines.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you a story. Um, I used to look in those magazines for the answer.
You
Magazines,
know what?
they give me the little bit of pep, and then I
Yep.
put it down, and then it goes away.
Yep.
But you see, like, giving it away, piling it up, and dusting them off, and I took a picture,
Oh, you
you
did?
know, and I said, "This is going to be," because I remember when I was a teen mom, we did stuff like that.
Oh, see?
It helped me rejig my brain to the right paths.
Yeah.
And so I bring it up to say, like, this is a black woman. She's like not really uh saying anything. She's just saying, yeah, sure, she'll come, she'll take it. Like saying anything as in, Lord have mercy, how much magazine, you know? But no, I was just like, no, and she's willing to come, and I'm going to give it away. And people were like, you're giving your prized possessions. I had bookshelves full, like I put them all.
Oh, wow.
I had them like they like an idol, right?
Mm, yeah.
Right? And I said, nope, I'm going to do what I was supposed to do. And you came along, and I understood there is a women out there that are doing this work. And I'm going to make sure that I contribute, and I also free myself.
Yeah.
And it
At the same
helps
time.
other people.
Yep. You sure did.
So
See?
it's like,
You freed yourself and you helped. See? Two for one. Two for one. There.
and it's just like, no one can say that I didn't clean out my closet from top to bottom.
You
Top
cleaned it.
to bottom.
You
Clean,
cleaned it.
clean.
Clean
And if
house.
you're mad at it, that's too bad. And I hope everyone's listening out there. When they're mad, it means you have to run far from them.
Yeah.
Because
Facts.
or you have to realize, maybe, like, I shouldn't like say run far, because maybe they'll smarten up. Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's something inside them that they didn't like in the first place. So and like you said, and someone else had said to me before, soaring like eagles,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's okay.
It is okay. It
It's
is fine.
okay,
Perfectly fine.
because since I started to walk in my greatness, I've been finding those eagles.
Yeah. But that's what happens. It's so crazy that the minute you walk in your purpose, things start happening for you. Like it's just random things start happening. And it's so crazy to me because it's like I walk in my purpose and I find people coming up to me like, hey, I seen you on Instagram, or hey, you reposted. Do you know I'm the owner of this? You reposted me. And I'm like, oh, like, and I don't know. I just repost because it's like, one, you're a local business and you're a black woman. So I'm gonna support you even more because like you know what I mean? But I have so many people that walk up to me and they're like, oh, thanks for reposting me. And I'm like, what? I didn't even didn't know because I didn't know who the face behind the brand was, but I'm just going to repost it, right? Because I'm supporting. I might, and like I tell people a lot of times is when I repost stuff, it might not be for me. Like I might repost a baker, but I might not need a baker at the time. But somebody, I've had people that message me, they're like, hey, remember that baker? Or do you remember when you posted? And I'm like, no, I just I reposting so much stuff that I don't even keep up. And people tell me all the time, oh, can you tell me about that thing that you reposted or this event? Or and I have people tell me like, yesterday I was at a networking event and this girl said to me, she came up to me and she was like, My event is sold out, and two people, she was like, these people said that you reposted it. And I'm like, oh, really? And she was like, I want to give you a ticket. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I'm not even available to come that day, but I was just sharing it with, I don't know who might want to go, right? I might not, but like, hey, go out and support. If you that, go, and then she was like, okay, well, anytime you're available, I want you to come to one of my events. Because she was like, everybody kept saying, oh, Princess, I seen this on Princess's page, Princess, but it was only because I'm just sharing. Because I don't know, like, who might need it? Listen, anybody might need it. And I'm glad that somebody utilized it. And that's what it's about.
I think I need to ask you how you decide to create instead of hate because you just said it. You
Listen,
just
how we create it is we literally just be authentic.
Mhm.
Honestly, the energy that it takes to hate
Mm.
is just too much. Like it's not even worth it. It it's not even worth it. And like, what is there to hate on? Like, I tell people this all the time. A favorite analogy of mine is like when you go into the bread aisle, you see all types of breads. You see different brands, you see different textures, you see, and you know what the one thing about going into a grocery store and seeing it, even with juice, you could see Allen's, you could see Ocean Spray, you could see fruit. One thing about it is not everything is for every person. So when I go to I don't like apple juice. So I
Mhm.
might buy orange. You might like you might like apple and you might not like orange. So when you really think about it, everybody does, like if we only had one juice, if there was only apple juice, some people would probably be thirsty because they might not like the taste, they might not like the smell. There's always going to be options. I might not be somebody's first option for a coaching call, but that's fine. I could give them as much information. There's like when you go to the hospital, you can't be like, oh, I don't want you. I want when we some people don't like Starbucks, but they go to Tim Hortons. Some people some people shop at Metro, but they don't shop at Food Basic. When you think about all of the options, it's like there's a variety. And when they say there's how many billions of people in the world, I just need 5% of those people to support me. I don't need the whole billion. I just need a point decimal 5% of those people of the population to support me. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I don't, you know what I mean? And when you think about all of the stores that are out there, some people like Louis Vuitton, some people like Gucci, some people like Zara, some people probably will just go to Walmart and buy something cheap. It it really depends. You know what I mean? So there's options for a reason. So there's no reason to even hate because there's options for a reason. If we didn't have options, then we would still be complaining because we didn't have options. So it's like you can't please everybody. Like there's options for a reason.
I thought I could and I tried until I burnt myself out. So,
Yeah, and I feel like I stick to my lane and I stick to what I'm good at because I've had people say, "Oh, you should do this or you should." No. If I will post about it like, "Hey, if you come to me and say, "Hey, do you know somebody that can handle this? Like, do you have a plumber?" I am not going to try to figure out how to do no plumbing. I'm going to send it to the next. I don't have time for that.
mhm.
I'm not going to I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm not going to try to be like, "Oh, let me go research how to do." No, I'm sending you because when you think like, why would I want to do that? Like, no. Do you think I'm gonna have a dentist operate on me because the dentist is also called the doctor? No, I want a doctor because if he's performing a surgery on me, I need somebody that knows what he's doing. I'm not just gonna go to him because he's a dentist. Like dentists, they go to school to dentists and they're actually called doctor, whatever. You think I'm gonna have them operating on me just because they have the doctor in front of their name? No, I'm going to an actual doctor that went to medical school. So there's no reason to create hate. There's too much things going on and too much things happening in the world that we don't need hate. It's
Thank you.
something that people create the hate because of insecurities and jealousies, but really and truly, I try to shower everybody with love. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I know this. None of us are perfect. I
Mhm.
probably have hated on somebody before in my past. I probably have created hate because we're human. We've all made mistakes and we've all done it, but it's how do we correct it and how do we move forward?
Mhm.
And I try to do that in my everyday life. Like, and I also feel like I remove myself from things that trigger me to feel that type of energy. So I protect my peace and my energy. So if anything around me doesn't feel good, it feels off, I remove myself. And I know a lot of people don't are like, why do you do that? No, I remove myself. I don't go to places that I don't feel will match my energy. I don't sit in certain rooms. I don't go to certain events if I don't feel the energy. I remove myself completely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good
Mm-hmm.
because that's all about protecting your peace and it's all about, your energy and and I feel like people will create hate from environments that they're in because they don't like their environment. So I try to surround myself in environments of love and happiness and things like that instead of like negative environments that might create hate because of the environment's negativity, right? So just sitting in certain rooms and being around certain people is how you actually, you create the love atmosphere, like, because you don't want to create something and, create hate because of the environment or you don't like the environment you're in.
That's such a great conversation for young people
Yep.
because you can
And
have
it's also what you pour into yourself too. Like I read books, I listen to podcasts, and I feel like a lot of people listen to certain things or pour like I don't spend too much time scrolling through Instagram and going through drama pages. I don't follow drama pages. I don't follow like the shade room and all of that. Like certain memes, haha, he might, but people get so consumed with all of that, and that's all negative energy. You get too consumed with it, and it starts going through your brain, and it's what you pour into yourself is what is a reflection of you. And so I try to limit what I'm consuming. Even when you watch the news, it's a lot of negative energy. Like it's always crime. So it creates that, oh, people start to hate because it's crime. It's this, it's that. It's what you consume as well, right? So we have to be mindful of what we're pouring into ourselves and what we're doing, conversations that we're having or conversations that are being had, your surroundings, your environment,
mm-hmm.
because negative environments create negative, energy, negative spaces. You got to be mindful of those things.
It's so so true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You're appreciated.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're going to the spa soon.
Yes. Can't wait. Listen, it's a must. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself, man. You have to. And it's like for everybody, men, women, like it's about self-care.
Yeah.
We work hard, we take care, like, you know what I mean? We wear many hats, we have many roles, but we also got to, pour into ourselves.
Yes. All right. Now I'm just going to read why I started the Create Don't Hate show, and then we'll get to any last thoughts that you have
Okay.
and where people can reach you.
Okay.
Right. The Create Don't Hate show was born out of frustration. The frustration of individuals hating on persons with differences. We wanted to empower a movement of hope, courage, and love, and build community and connection in the process. Create Don't Hate is a real practical way of sharing hope to those who have been muted and shut down just because of who they are. Create Don't Hate was and always will be an anthem that I would play to get through the tough times. I thank you so much, Princess. Like
You're
I
welcome.
I really do appreciate your words and I appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
And I'd like to know
Thank you.
if you can please share any last thoughts you have and also how people can reach you.
Okay, so how you can reach me is on Instagram at herlegacy.org. I also have at Coach Princess and at We Craft Creatives. Any final words is just walk in your purpose, walk in your calling. And if you're scared, just remember that if God gives you a vision, He's going to give you everything to go with that vision. So He's going to make sure that the path is clear for you to execute that vision. And don't be afraid to do it alone, do it scared, just get it done.
Thank you. I
You're
hope
welcome.
I hope everyone is listening out there. That was some serious nuggets that we can and tools that we can use and implement in our own lives or share with someone else. So
Definitely.
thank you for being here, and thank
You're
you for
welcome.
listening. And please share and like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.